Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Friday, so happy Friday for our Friday news dump. We will tell you all the news you need to hear before the weekend, so you don't gotta worry about it. Keep your eyes away from the headlines, because this is all you need for this rest of the week. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, the father and daughter podcast, where we look up our stories just before we start. We just got caffeine and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. So let's roll that segue wheel. But first, let's read out those headlines. Today on the Friday News Dump. Former British MEP sentenced to 10 years for taking bribes to make pro-Russian statements. And Slovak PM weighs legal action against EU over Russian gas phase-out.
And we're going to talk about the European city of Hamburg is getting a new opera house. And the sad news, we're going to talk about the life and strange death of Todd Snider.
Figaro, Figaro. Zelensky says Ukraine faces a difficult choice with the US's plan. And South Africa and the EU sign a critical minerals deal, vowed to defend multilateralism.
And I'm going to combine two stories in this headline, as we're going to have fungus on our plate and moss that survives in space.
In my culture news, why is the UK school seeking to ban K-pop Demon Hunter songs? Suspicious.
Yes, and it's November 21st, which means it's National Stuffing Day, so get properly stuffed. Get properly stuffed. It's November 21st, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Intro. Oh, that's not the intro. If you're not getting properly stuffed today, you're not having the perfect Friday.
Yeah.
Determined by us. And you can take that however you like.
We're going to be sending around a pollster later. Nobody likes being polled.
We're going to be doing that American Smokeout, or at least I thought what American Smokeout was. Yeah. All the food on the barbecue, and then just eat it all one sitting. That's totally what we mean by getting stuffed.
Jesus. One toke over the line. Sorry, I'm singing.
Let's roll our first segue wheel for the first story. Segue wheel. It is gonna be sarcasm. Got some sarcasm about Russia. I'm sure you do, because everyone loves Russia here. That was some free sarcasm.
Dead serious about this.
This first story is coming out of the UK on Euronews. A far-right British politician and former MEP was sentenced to more than 10 years in prison on Friday, the 21st of November, for accepting bribes to make favorable statements about Russia in the Parliament. Yeah, Russia's great. They're our best friends, and you can trust me. I do not have 10,000 extra pounds in my bank account. Don't pay attention to that. Nathan Gill,
that's right,
pleaded guilty earlier this year to 8. Not just once, not to twice, which that's already bad enough. That's already pretty corrupt. 8 counts of bribery in December 2018 and July 2019, shortly before, 2 years before they decided to invade Ukraine. Prosecutors said Gill, a former member of the European Union legislator, who also led the Reform UK Party in Wales, so you know he's a stand-up guy, was tasked by former Ukrainian politician Oleg Voloshin, an alleged Russian asset, to make statements in return for money. Ukraine loves Russia, and Russia loves Ukraine. They're not going to invade them in 2 years. They're just best friends. Voloshin, who left Ukraine shortly before Russia's full-scale invasion in early 22 because he got the memo, leave Ukraine. We don't want you to die. You're an important asset. has been repeatedly accused of working for Russian intelligence services. He has been under UK and Canadian sanctions since March of 22, while Kyiv formally accused him of state treason over alleged subversion activities against Ukraine. At his sentencing hearing at London's Central Criminal Court, Justice Bobby Shima-Grub said Gill had accepted money in exchange for improper execution of his public duties. In your personal opinion, should we trust Russia? Yes! They're so trustworthy.
I think you're Russia. The guys that invaded Afghanistan, those guys?
Yeah, they're
great. That was a different guy. That was a different guy.
Bobby Shima-Grub said he had advanced narratives advantageous to Russia's interests concerning Ukraine. Gill was stopped at Manchester Airport in September 2021 under British counter-terrorism laws following an investigation. He was charged in February this year. Wow, they really investigated to make sure. Yeah, he freaking worked for the Russian government. Gill was elected to the European Parliament.
Gotta pay those bills.
Yet again, another reason to not trust this guy. Reform and anti-EU in UK Independence Party. Later, the Brexit Party. This guy is a piece of shit. Lied to the British people, took money from Russia, and hates immigrants because they exist in a global economy. He remained in the legislature until Britain left the bloc in 2020. He led the Welsh branch of the Brexit Party successor UK during the elections in Wales, but is no longer a member of the party, said, because he's bad optics. Yeah, if I knew, hey, isn't that guy who's leading our party that is already getting a rough turn at it because we hate immigrants and we thought Brexit was a good idea, but also he took money from Russia and he might be a traitor to the country, maybe we should kick him out of the party. Doesn't seem like we should have him around anymore. You know what's bad when the racists are like, yeah, sorry, you can't hang out with us anymore. Oh, goodness. I love this story so much. I'm sad for, hopefully he didn't harm anybody. It sounds like, he hasn't, but hopefully no
well, it's hard to tell with espionage, right?
Yeah, nobody in Wales was tricked by his complete and total belief. And that's my short story.
Okay.
On guess what people are paid by Russia government to propagandize that they're perfectly fine.
Oh, I'm getting all whimsical and nostalgic, whimsical, because I'll do the old Pepperidge Farm commercial. Remember when the U.S. used to punish unregistered foreign agents? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Because, it used to be a thing in the United States. We say, hey, you're working for a foreign government. You took $1 million. Yeah, so you're unregistered as a foreign agent. You're supposed to be you're paid lobbyist. You should be registered as a registered lobbyist. So, that's right. Trump's in charge. Everything goes.
This is what the government sounds like when they find out you took money from a foreign government. Nothing.
Yep, that's all. They're too worried about that one guy that appears at one time in the Epstein emails going after him, not the guy with.
And I'm assuming you're referencing AIPAC, right? Which is basically the Israel government lobbying politicians. Here's some money. Can you make sure that your government never passes anything that does anything bad to
I'm
Israel?
I'm just talking about the way the United States government selectively prosecutes people based on what party they belong to. Because run by a fascist.
Democrats do espionage, go to prison. Republicans go to do espionage. Yep. Hey, what a stand-up guy. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yep, there's a couple of pictures of Al Franken that got out that he made back in the 1980s or something that got him. He had to resign from the center and he wasn't even doing anything wrong. He was in my picture. That's it. Okay. But he's a comedian. Comedians do things for laughs. Sometimes they get a little desperate. That's why comedians are, like the most truth tellers. At least the good comedians are. The other ones are trying to obfuscate and hide things that, because they're not really funny.
No.
Like Richard Pryor wasn't hiding anything from you. Anyway, just next story. You got another story?
Yes, I have another story. We're going to talk more about Russia.
Tangent time.
And this time it's about...
Fridays.
Hey, Friday news dumps are all about the tangent because nobody's going to see us for 2 days. So we got to make sure we talk our ears off. Like, oh
Well, the
God,
people
can these
seeing
guys
us
shut
live,
up so I don't have to see him anymore?
the people that see us live are the most important people, though, and we want to give them
This is
full,
from Eurocitiv
experience.
by Natalia Selenska. The Slovak Prime Minister weighs legal action against the EU over the Russian gas phase-out, which is Hungary. It's also with Slovak voted against phasing out Russian gas, and they're both pretty pissed about it. Robert Fico is accusing Brussels of breaking the energy guarantee he says he secured in return for lifting his veto on sanctions. Coming from Bratislava, Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico has asked ministers to explore suing the EU for plans to halt Russian gas supplies to Slovakia, claiming Brussels may be breaching guarantees offered to Bratislava. After Wednesday's, the 19th of November's cabinet meeting, Fico tasked Economy Minister Denisa Sokova, Foreign Minister Duraz Blanar, Justice Minister Boris Susko with preparing an analysis. This decision harms us enormously. You will know we will not vote for it. We also want to examine the commitments the European Commission signed, which are supposed to help Slovakia, at least in some way. We want to know that these commitments are being fulfilled, he said on the 19th of November. Slovakia remains heavily dependent on Russian gas. So you already know they have no ground to stand on, right? They literally are losing the ground to stand on because they need Russian gas. Unlike many other EU states, it has done little in the last years when they probably saw this coming. They've been talking about it for at least 2 years.
Don't store up anything.
We need to stop giving Russia money because they're attacking Ukraine, attack Poland, Lithuania.
They don't care. They just want their homes heated.
Yeah, right? But they haven't been doing anything to find an alternate energy source to heat these homes, right? They just, we have Russia. They're never going to get rid of Russian gas. They haven't been warning about it. So, back in July, Fico blocked the EU's 18th sanction package against Russia for several weeks, calling the proposal to end Russian gas loans by the 1st of January 2028 idiotic, because he doesn't want to do his job as a government and find another alternate path to make sure that his people are warm for the winter. He lifted his veto after Commission President Ursula von der Leyen offered guarantees, including support for energy diversification, accelerated state aid approvals, and a task force to guide Slovakia's transition. And yet they still haven't made any work towards finding another way to get energy. According like that, here, we'll help you. Thanks, we'll take that help by ignoring it. Critics from Slovak opposition argue that Fico had not actually negotiated anything substantial from the Commission beyond the usual. Fico also questioned the EU's plan to use fusion Russian assets to aid Ukraine, warning of legal uncertainties and possible retaliatory consequences. Oh no! They're in a war. The bad/good thing about wars, right, depending on your perspective, is that the laws usually do not apply in the same way, right? When you're in peacetime, you can't be breaking treaties or stealing stuff. Or during a war, it's like, dude, you invaded a country and you don't want any punishment for surprisingly invading a country, right? We've declared war on you, we've already invaded you, and we've already just started, emptying your border villages of people and deporting them to Crimea and then making them Russian. Surprise! We're not going to get punished by this for it at all. Retaliatory.
Shut up and drink your poison.
Fuck off. Russia. Oh no, not them retaliating. The Slovak premier, who has met Vladimir Putin 3 times in under a year, said his government would further assess the issue. Good luck. How about getting a way to get power for your country that doesn't rely on a state that probably wants to invite you back into the Soviet Union? How about that? That's an idea for you. There's my shorter story about Russia and Hungary. Well, not really Hungary, just Slovak, but Hungary is also very guilty of the same ideology.
What's this politician's name?
Robert Fico.
Fico?
Yeah, F-I-C-O.
I thought you said fecal. Robert Fico. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there isn't like some big, gigantic donation to his favorite charity waiting in his bank account, right?
Yeah.
From an anonymous third party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't worry about it. He's getting paid from Russia, just like all these
Yeah.
other clowns are. One thing these oligarchs can do is they can just print money because they work for Putin.
Yeah. It's just
So-
like, can you please try your best? Like, this is what's happening, right? From the previous story about Wales, right? Or the MEP, UK MEP. I definitely would not be surprised if we found out, oh yeah, we're paying Hungary and Slovakia to be like, don't let us lose our Russian gas. They're paying. They're like, we're giving you 90% deal on our Russian gas as long as you keep on paying for it and make sure you stop the EU for sanctioning it. Something like that, right? They're giving us a really great deal on Russian gas as long as we keep.
Yeah, and
buying
he's got all this support. He's got all the support online too from all the Russian bots. All right, so
all
let's
these
spin the
Russian bots
wheel.
are telling me it's a good idea, so I don't know why you think. I don't know why we'd listen to the Hungarian people or the Slovakian people. Look at the Russian bots; they think we're doing a great job.
The Russian bots think that.
Social media.
The Russian bots think that an ordinary citizen breaking the law is more serious than the president just basically threatening congressional people with death.
Yeah.
Right? The Russian bots don't have a fucking clue. All right, let's spin the wheel, I guess. I got a story or two.
Yeah, let's go to our next wheel.
Oh,
Spinning the Segway wheel.
Feeling weak today. Feeling weak.
I'm spinning the
Feeling weak.
wheel.
Feeling weak. Feeling weak.
I'm going to tell you some jokes about your next.
All right. SciTech Daily has a story. We're going to reverse order my headlines. One of these stories first. It's about fungus. Who's a fun guy? Well, we'll find out. SciTech Daily has this story. CRISPR, CISPR, supercharges a meat-like fungus into a sustainable protein powerhouse. The hell does that mean? Researchers use CRISPR, which is an acronym for something, to enhance
You don't remember this? CRISPR
meat-like
is a
fungus.
DNA sequencing. We've talked about it many times.
Oh, good. I'm glad you know, and you assume I know because you know. Anyway, researchers use CRISPR to enhance a naturally meat-like fungus, boosting its digestibility and production efficiency. The modified strain grows faster, uses far fewer resources, and lowers greenhouse gas emissions by up to 60%. This might be on Good News Tuesday. It also dramatically outperforms chicken farming in land and water use. The findings highlight promising path to eco-friendly protein. Now it hopefully just going to make it taste like steak, right? A study released today in the journal Trends in Biotechnology describes how scientists use the gene editing tool CRISPR, there's the answer, to improve a fungus's ability to produce protein while lowering the environmental impact of the production up to 61%, and they achieved this without inserting any foreign DNA. The modified fungus has a meat-like flavor. This is very meat-like.
Delicious.
Meat-like flavor scares me to death. That little
You
statement.
never
there
had
is-
the steak mushroom, have you?
I've
It
heard
tastes just like
meat-like
steak.
flavor. Oh, sure they do. I've heard meat-like flavor, and I'm like, that doesn't taste like meat. Sorry, I don't know who you've been feeding this to. I've heard that before. I've heard that about soy protein burgers. They have a meat-like flavor. Sure. If you bury it in ketchup, tastes just like a hamburger buried in ketchup. The modified fungus has a meat-like flavor and is easier for people to digest than the wild form. The wild form of what? A fungus?
Yeah, I guess they're saying these are like factory-grown, lab-grown fungus instead of like you found on a tree.
Well, they can grow them really fast.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just make a big old friggin' gigantic, huge, like, thing you can just keep in your refrigerator and break off chunks of it, right? I don't know. There's a popular demand for better and more sustainable protein for foods. This correspondent Zhao Liu of Zhangnan University in Wuxi, China. A lot of mispronunciations in there, I guarantee. We successfully made a fungus not only for more nutritious, but also more environmentally friendly by tweaking its genes. The animal agriculture contributes roughly 14% of global greenhouse gas emissions. It also requires a large area of land and significant amounts of fresh water. which are already under pressure from climate change and human activity. Because of these drawbacks, microbial proteins found in organisms such as yeast and fungi are gaining attention, a more sustainable alternative to traditional meat. That's right, you can grow your own yeast. Some people are doing it already. That's a joke.
Yeah, they're making all that
Among the
sourdough
different
bread.
Among the different mycoprotein sources that researchers have examined, the fungus Fusarium venenatum has become a leading candidate because its natural taste and fibrous structure resemble meat. Resemble meat is another scary phrase. It's already approved for consumption in several counties, including United Kingdom, China, United States. Well, put it on the menu. Let's see what it tastes like. Benefits: Fusarium venenatum has thick cell walls that limit the extent to which humans can digest its nutrients. Well, what good is it then? What do we got to do? We got to mix it with probiotics? Producing it also requires considerable resources. The spores must be grown in large metal tanks filled with a mixture of sugar and nutrients, such as ammonium sulfate. So we're not creating this just from DNA. Of course, DNA does need carbohydrates to sustain and to develop proteins. It can't be done without it. Liu and his colleagues wanted to determine whether CRISPR could improve both digestibility and production efficiency in Fusarium venenatum without introducing foreign DNA into its genome. To test this idea, the researchers deleted 2 genes linked to the enzymes chitin syntase and pyruvate dicarboxylase, removing the chitin synthase gene reduced the thickness of the cell wall, making the protein inside the fungus accessible for digestion. Well, that's better. Eliminating the pyruvate, whatever the hell that word is, gene adjusted the organism's metabolic pathways so it could create protein using fewer nutrients. The analysis showed that the resulting strain, named FCPD, used 44% less sugar to generate the same amount of protein as the unmodified strain did so 88% more quickly. So almost twice as fast and less sugar to create the protein. So less, more efficient, and quicker. There you go. A lot of people thought growing microprotein was more sustainable, but no one really considered how to reduce the environmental impact of the entire production process, especially when compared with other alternate protein products. So there's your plant food turning into protein that you can eat and pretend that it's, a dead cow all you want. It's just like a dead cow.
I think technically
sure?
mushrooms aren't
like
plants. They're more alive than they are. They're somewhere in the middle. I've never considered mushroom plants because they don't do.
Fungus are closer to humans in the DNA chain. Humans have more DNA in common with fungus than we do with plants. Yeah. True.
But I have your jokes here.
Probably not.
I have your jokes about mushrooms here because there's plenty of them.
Oh yeah, here we go. Get ready. I know it's coming.
What do you call a photo of a mushroom?
I don't know.
A stock photo.
Oh,
the mushroom stock.
That was a
what does a mushroom buy when it's having a midlife crisis?
A Corvette.
A spores car.
I was close. I was on the money. The sports car.
What's a vampire's favorite soup?
Blood soup.
Cream of mushroom.
Oh.
Alright, that's enough mushrooms jokes for you.
Alright, one more story and I'll let you off the hook. Next story. Did you know that life can exist in a vacuum? Holy crap! Yep, that's right. Well, space isn't exactly a vacuum, but it doesn't have a lot of oxygen and it has a lot of ultraviolet rays and all kinds of crap that'll kill you, and no gravity. So you don't even know up from down. ScientificAmerican.com has a story. These are the weird life forms that can survive in space. Meet the weird and wonderful world of life forms that can exist in space. I guess that's what it says. The moss Physcomitrium patens, Jones tardigrades, and thailcrest as species that have survived in space. So we're going to talk about moss. From deep sea hydrothermal vents to freezing glaciers, there are plenty of harsh environments on Earth, but they're nothing compared to outer space. There are, however, a growing list of species such as tardigrades and certain flowering plants that can survive in a cold vacuum. The most recent addition is a type of moss scientists at Hokkaido University in Japan and their colleagues have recently reported in iScience. The fact that other major group of terrestrial life can survive in space as far as physical findings is cool, said the University of Florida space biology expert Robert Furl. He said cool. That's the best word you can come up with. Who is not involved in the study? Terrestrial life may not be limited to Earth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it isn't, dude. I don't know why that's a big shock. Space is a tough place to survive. It lacks air and has extreme amounts of ultraviolet radiation and all kinds of radiation, not just ultraviolet, gamma rays, for instance, X-rays, for another instance, that can damage DNA. And its temperatures range from freezing to extreme heat. But mosses are resilient. They are one of the first plants to adapt to land when such life started transitioning out of water about 50 million years ago. The Hokkaido University research studied Physcomitrium patens, a species of moth that is typically found around pools of water in temperate parts of the world, including Europe, North America, and East Asia. They compared the tolerance of 3 different stages of the plant: the protonemata, or the moss's juvenile stage, the brood cells, specialized cells that emerge in stressful conditions, and the plant's reproductive spores, which produce a tough capsule known as a sporangium. The researchers simulated space conditions by exposing the 3 tissues to UV radiation and freezing and high temperatures. For each simulation,
so
the spores are always more resilient.
But they just, looked at the most dangerous things that could kill it and see if that would kill them.
We're not done with the story. For each simulation, the spores were always more resilient than the other two plant parts. The spores are very strong, more than we expected, says plant biologist and study co-author Tanomichi Fujita. To further test the spores, this is a reaction to your comment, they were placed on a platform outside the International Space Station from early March to late December in 2022, and they were brought back to Earth. They were grown on a petri dish, and more than 80% of the spores germinated, not just survived.
Wow, that was 3 years ago.
So the next question is why? Fujita said, we don't know the reason why the spores are strong, but it may be because they are dormant in space. Additionally, although more spores germinated than the team expected, their growth rate was delayed.
Oh.
Next, researchers want to know the genes involved in the spores' tolerance space, see if there was any UV-induced DNA damage. Studying how terrestrial life, such as moss, flowers, and microorganisms, which is a word I can't pronounce now, fare in space, clues scientists into how future forms of life could be sustained in the stars, though it is far cry from reality, knowing that this could expand human habitats beyond Earth. That's the story. I just wanted to point out, they seem to think that only UV rays exist in space. All radio frequencies, like I said, gamma rays, X-rays.
Aren't those
but as we said, they're all dangerous, right? They'll shoot holes in you. There's a reason why when you get an X-ray, that dentist goes and hides behind a lead screen because he has to give X-rays all day long. And they put a big old lead apron on you, right? They all that stuff because X-rays are dangerous. They are dangerous. More than one X-ray a day is probably going to give you some kind of mutated cells. It's really dangerous. But my point now is, of course, they didn't talk about the X-rays and the gamma rays, but space doesn't care whether they talked about them or not. The moss still lived for 9 months, and it germinated. So there's your other living things on Earth news. Things we don't think about.
Things are alive and they're growing and in space.
You can't kill moss. You can't kill moss. You can't kill moss.
Learning about space all day is exhausting. I need a launch break.
Ha! Oh!
I thought about putting an observatory in my house. but the cost was astronomical.
Oh, we didn't go there. Okay, next story, next spin, or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
I want to give you another one. You might die.
No. Kill Homer. Homer's losing air.
Segway wheel. Also, good morning, Dorina. I hope you're having happy Friday.
Morning.
And thank you for claiming your daily elixir.
Happy. Still morning here for another 24 minutes.
It's a non-sequitur.
Easy peasy.
My next story is about... What is my next story about? That's a great question. Oh, yes, of course. We're talking about an EU deal with South Africa and Ukraine, because
Your story is a non-sequitur.
Well, we talked about Russia in my last segment, so let's keep talking about it. So, we've probably been hearing about this, if you haven't. Of course, for some reason, the U.S. thinks it is the determining factor of a deal between Russia and Ukraine, and all the deals they're giving are get fucked Ukraine, and get fucked Ukraine. And Zelensky is getting put in a very hard spot of, do we say fuck you to the United States and lose a very valuable military partner? Or do we just become Russia? It's a hard choice. This is by Ilya Novikov and Barry Hatton, coming out of Kyiv, Ukraine. Ukraine faces a hard choice at a pivotal point in its almost 4-year fight to defeat Russia's full-scale invasion. President Volodymyr Zelensky told Ukrainians in a national address today, November, pledging to hold constructive discussions with Washington on a U.S. peace proposal in what he called truly one of the most difficult moments in our history. The U.S. plan contains many of Russian President Vladimir Putin's long-standing demands. Yeah, appeasement! Appeasement always works. They'll never invade another country after this, right? While offering limited security guarantees to Ukraine. Reminder that Ukraine had security before the invasion, and nobody guaranteed the security at all. It foresees Ukraine handing over territory to Russia, something Zelensky had repeatedly ruled out. Good. Reduces the size of its army. Why the fuck would you reduce the size of Ukraine's army when they're defending themselves from invasion? And blocks its coveted path to NATO membership. You're not allowed to join NATO anymore. And also, get fucked. Dude, the worst fucking deal in the world. Lose everything you've been fighting for. Okay, I'll take it. While Zelensky has offered to negotiate with the US and Russia, he signaled Ukraine may not get everything it wants and has to confront the possibility of losing American support if it makes a stand. Fucking do it. Fuck the United States. This shitty fucking deal. Currently, the pressure on Ukraine is one of the hardest, Zelensky said in a recorded speech. Ukraine may now face a very difficult choice, either losing its dignity or risking of losing a key partner. We do not make loud statements. We will work calmly with America and all partners, he said, but insisted on fair treatment. Ukraine's national interests must be taken into account. He urged Ukrainians to stop fighting each other. Yeah, start fighting the United States because they're not on your fucking side. I'm allowed to make a statement. Fuck the United States. Shitty fucking deal. Is in a possible reference to a major corruption
Trump
scandal.
Deal. It ain't the United States. You don't speak for the rest of this.
In a possible reference to a major corruption scandal that has brought fierce criticism of the government, and said peace talks next week will be very difficult. Zelensky spoke earlier by the phone with the leaders of Germany, France, and the United Kingdom, who assured him of their continued support as European officials scrambled to respond to the U.S.'s proposals that apparently caught them unaware. Okay, let's put our heads in the sand. Wait! A convicted felon and famous Putin bootlicker said, hey, let's give Russia everything they asked for and give Ukraine nothing. Wow! I'm so surprised!
Yeah.
I've been caught unaware. Expecting a serious deal from the United States convicted felon is just... What reality are you living in? Did we swap realities? Because I've been in this one the whole time and it's been a shit show. The European and Ukrainian responses were cautiously worded because they don't want to piss off the baby-in-chief, and pointedly commended American peace efforts. At least they're trying. Good baby, keep trying. You're doing such a good job. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, French President Emmanuel Macron, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer assured Zelensky they're unchanged and full support on the way to a lasting and just, keyword just. Reminder, they got invaded. They didn't invade anybody else. They didn't attack anyone. This is a defense. It was originally a defensive war. The four leaders welcomed the U.S. efforts to end the war. In particular, they welcomed the commitment to the sovereignty of Ukraine and the readiness to grant Ukraine solid security. Hey, at least they didn't say Ukraine just become a Russian state. They could have said that. You're right. They could have just said, you know what, Ukraine, just give your land to Russia, become Russian. They could have said that. You're right. That was probably an option. They said, oh, we can't say that. They'll never do that one. The line of contact must be a departure point, he said. The Ukrainian armed forces must remain in a position to defend the sovereignty of Ukraine effectively. Starmer said the right to Ukraine to determine its future as under sovereignty is a fundamental principle. Because the thing is, right, okay, let's say they take this deal. Yeah, you can have the east of Ukraine, all that land that you've been, what is the word again? Occupying. Occupying. You can have the land you've been occupying for the last 3 years or 4 years. You're totally not going to invade us again, are you? Right, Ukraine?
Of course he is. He's going to invade Poland. I
mean, sorry, right, Russia? You're not going to invade Ukraine more. You got the east side, the east part of Ukraine, and you're not going to invade the west and then keep going or go north or south, right? You're just going to stay there for 4 years, right? What was it? Crimea was 2016 or ended in 2016? And then...
It was 2014, really.
2014, okay. So it was 2014, so 10 years later, 8 years later, they're like, hey, let's invade Ukraine again! That won't happen in 8 years from now, right? We won't be seeing another invasion by Russia into Ukraine. Whatever, dude. Keep on drinking the Kool-Aid. European countries see their own futures at stake in Ukraine's fight against the Russian invasion and have insisted on being consulted in its efforts. Russia's war against Ukraine is an existential threat to Europe. We all want this war to end, but how it ends matters. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kala said in Brussels. Russia has no legal right whatever to any concessions from the country invaded. Ultimately, the terms of any agreement are for Ukraine side. The European government official said that the US plans weren't officially presented to Ukraine's European backers. Many of the proposals are quite concerning, the government official said, adding that a bad deal for Ukraine would also be a threat to broader European security. The official spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity that they were not authorized to discuss the plan publicly. I can't say what I publicly think.
I know,
I will say it's a shit deal. Sorry?
It sounded good to me.
Yeah, perfect. As a Russian asset myself, keep on going. Yeah, just give them all your land. Anyways, Ukrainian officials said they were weighing the U.S. proposals, but really what they're just doing is probably buying time, right?
They weighed 7 ounces, and then they burned it.
If Putin thinks they're gonna get a deal in, maybe they won't, continue bombing the country, right? I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, we're looking at the deal, Putin. Please don't continue wasting your ammunition. No, we haven't received anything official. We're seeing some innovations, but officially we haven't received anything. And there hasn't been a substantive discuss at these points. Dmitry Peskov said from Moscow. He claimed U.S.-Russian diplomatic contacts are ongoing, but nothing substantive is discussed. The U.S. team began drawing up plans after U.S. Special Envoy Witkoff held talks with Rustem Umerov, top advisor to Zelensky, according to a senior Trump administration official who was not authorized to comment publicly and spoke on the conditions of anonymity. The official added that Umerov agreed to most of the plan after making several modifications and presented it to Zelensky. So there was a worse plan than this? Right? There was a worse plan. He modified it, which means there must have been even worse things in here. Also, you have to pay them reparations for them invading you. I bet there's something in there, right? You have to pay Russia for not instantly laying over and getting invaded and conquered. You assholes, we spent a lot of money. We thought we were gonna wipe you clean instantly. Why did you defend yourselves? However, Yumrov on Friday denied this version of events. He said he organized meetings and prepared the talks. He did not agree with any of this shit. He said technical talks between the U.S. and Ukraine will continue to keep.
It's shit, a technical term.
The partners' proposals within the framework of Ukraine's unchanging principles, sovereignty, people's security, and a just peace, he said. Meanwhile, a Russian glide bomb slammed into a residential district in southern Ukraine city of Zaporizhia, killing 5 people, officials said today on the 21st of November, as Moscow's forces continue to hammer civilian areas of Ukraine. The overnight attack also injured 10 people, including a teenage girl. The powerful glide bomb damaged some high-rise apartment blocks for the 3rd time since the war began, and also wrecked the local market, according to the head of the military administration, Ivan Fedorov. A Russian drone assault on the southern city of Odessa also struck a residential area during the night, injuring 5 people, including a 16-year-old boy. Patton contributed to this report from Lisbon, Portugal, Harriet Morris in Tallinn, Estonia, Geir Moluson in Berlin, Angela Charlton in Paris, and Pan Pilas in London. They all helped. There was a whole group of people being like, this is my opinion, it's bullshit. So, there's my first story about.
That's a story, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
I guess we got a non sequitur.
Oh, damn.
If Trump is on your side, my first non sequitur, if Trump is on your side, you have nobody on your side.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was negotiating, right? No meeting, Putin, no meeting until you release the Epstein files, because he has them. You know he does. And again, actually, specifically, no meeting until we get the picture of Trump blowing Bubba. That's what's said in that email. It says Putin. Yeah, Epstein's brother asked Epstein, who said he's with Steve Bannon at the time. He said, ask Bannon if Putin has the picture of Trump blowing Bubba. We don't know who Bubba is, but we do know who Trump is, and we do know who Putin is, and we do know what the word picture means. So, until we get that picture, no negotiations.
That reminds me of a meme I saw, which says something along the lines of, I didn't know what I thought I was going to find out about this, but I did not know I was going to find out Trump was a bottom. So, there you go. Thank you for your non sequitur. And thank you for saying that I'm pretty and that you love my top. I've had this top since high school, so I don't buy new clothes.
Oh.
And I hope your hair gets better, Dorina. I wish the hair wasn't so bad. I know that hating it here sucks, but gotta keep the hope.
It's all right. It's gonna be okay, because eventually all the assholes get caught. Once again, if you con enough people, eventually they'll wake up. They're just the dumbest people, so it takes them a long time to figure shit out. And they'll blame everybody but themselves, right? They will blame everybody but themselves for being fooled. That's why they're fools. I mean, all right, next story.
Let me get my next story, which is shorter, and it's all about South Africa making a deal with the EU in order to defend multilateralism. So, multilateralism is a bunch of countries agreeing to do a thing together. In this case, mineral trade. They're all agreeing, hey, let's swap some minerals around. Let's create an industry here. This is from Tim Cox on Reuters. South Africa and European Union vowed to defend multilateralism yesterday, the 20th of November, ahead of the G20 summit, as they signed a partnership on critical minerals. South Africa is hosting this year's G20 gathering, a boycott by its most powerful member, although President Cyril Ramaphosa said that the United States was now considered attending this new capacity. They couldn't be kept away. Analysts see a U.S. absence or any obstructive move as an opportunity for South Africa to build closer ties to Europe and China. So go ahead. We'll give all our stuff to Europe and China. Good luck, the United States. It's 2 largest trading partners. You don't want any of this pie? Great, I'll give half to China and half to the EU. While it seems increasingly unlikely that the meeting will culminate in a substantive declaration, the first G20 in Africa is a showcase for a continent that has fast-growing economies and vast wealth. We are signing an unprecedented agreement, Ramaphosa said at a news conference with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa after Ramaphosa's mines minister. Montage signed the Memorandum of Understanding. We are no longer going to rely on extracting minerals only. We will want to extract those minerals, have them processed at the point of extraction, so that South Africa begins to move up the value chain. Right. The closer you are for where you get the money, the more money you make. So, instead of selling just the raw materials, you can sell the processed materials. Charge them for more. Hey, this isn't just normal lithium, it's processed lithium. We've got rid of all the impurities for you. Give them an extra 10%. Or I don't know the prices. Look that up for me.
Well, you can have value-added tax on it.
Yeah, exactly. I did all this extra work for you. You don't even have to process it anymore. EU leaders are scrambling to secure dozens of metals that are vital to the world's transition away from fossil fuels to renewable energy, for the revolution in computing and for defense. That is potentially damaging restrictions on supply from China, the world's main supplier of rare earths. EU's plans include stockpiling rare earths before rivals, including the United States, and developing a €9 million joint purchasing mechanism. All right, everyone. Where's my donation bin? Come on, everyone. All 27 of you need to get some money so we can buy all of these rare earth metals. We need these inputs to power the clean energy transition both here and abroad. So the future of our economy depends on fair and reliable supply chains, von der Leyen said. She added later that Russia's war in Ukraine and its impact on Europe's energy supply had woken the continent up to the need for a diverse range of sources. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'll do if Africa invades somebody. It's happened. The Mali Empire invaded people. Egypt invades people, but it hasn't happened for a couple centuries, you know? So Africa seems like a better trade deal right now than Russia, who will just decide, you know what, we're going to invade the whole continent. Now you don't have any gas. Haha, get fucked. South Africa officials are hoping the summit can keep multilateralism alive in international affairs as convicted felon and clown Trump rejects this diplomacy. Wait, you want us to have a global trade? No, we're going to make all the money somehow when we make all these industries that have left the United States for the last, let's say, 50, 80 years. Yeah, we'll just rebuild them up in 4 years. That's how that works, right? Car industry. Who? We agreed to stand together in defense of democracy, in defense of multilateralism, human rights, and the rule of law, Ramaphosa said in sentiments echoed by his counterparts. So there we go. There's my shorter story about Africa making the good deals with the rest of the world while the West loses out.
Yeah, well, your story was long enough for me to get 3 non sequiturs out of it.
Nice.
So which one do you want? Do you want the first one?
You thought of 3 different things that had nothing to do with the story.
That's right. What's the name of the author again? What was the name of the author?
The author?
His name was
Tim Cox.
Yeah. Cox? That's just what Trump likes. Anyway, our next non sequitur, South Africa. I love South Africa. They used to be a terrible, terrible nation, shameful nation. But now they're like a real democracy. Plus, they found out a way to get rid of Elon Musk.
That's true.
He decided he's out of here. Else. Yeah, he dodged the draft. We're going to draft you. But he emigrated to Canada because he didn't want to get drafted. Because he's a coward. He's a frickin' coward. Anyway, and my third non sequitur, you said rare earth. I just want to celebrate. That's rare earth. That is something. You probably
Earth.
It was a band.
Rare Earth.
You also did a remake. I know I'm losing you.
I'm singing.
I just want to celebrate. That's rare earth. Anyway, that's a non sequitur song.
Thanks. What a bonus.
Okay,
Let me give you some applause, man. Usually the non sequiturs I don't like use the soundboard because it's just like it has nothing to do with anything. There, woo! Good non sequiturs.
I just realized both of my stories are culture segment, so I'm going to be preempting culture segment.
But
my
first,
own culture
let's roll that wheel. Yeah. We're all about culture and hating Russia today. And plants,
Yeah,
I
and
guess. You talked about
if
plants.
you know anything about Hamburg culture, you might not know a lot about it.
I'll
All
associate with this
I
with
ever know.
something, and I already have an idea, so take it away.
Right, let's talk about Hamburg, Germany, the place where the Beatles cut their teeth when they were youngsters. Cut their teeth more than one way because Hamburg has legal prostitution. Timeout.com, Ruth Laws, the European city is getting a spectacular new house on the water. New opera house, not just a house. House, oh, house, wow, how rare. No, an opera house. Hamburg will become the new home of the state-of-the-art opera house with the panoramic views of the harbor. And here comes a lot of pictures. It already has the legendary Sunday fish market. But did we go to that? Did we go to the fish market in Hamburg? I know we ate some hamburgers off a stand because it was Hamburg. They were really good too, but they had bread for a bun. That's the way I ate them as a kid. The Epic Concert Hall, El Philharmonie, and Glorious City Beach Bar Strand Pauli, and now Hamburg will become home of the brand new world-class opera house and waterfront in Hafen City. The Opera House is set to become the next cultural hotspot in Germany's second largest city. I didn't realize that was the second largest city. It seemed more quaint than Berlin to me, I thought. But it's a big port city, so yeah, it's probably got a lot more people that are spread out than I thought. Anyway, it was already brimming with great things to do, and there's a link, there's a hyperlink there. If Hamburg wasn't already on your travel bucket list, its latest edition will make you think again. While the state-of-the-art venue will become the future residence of the Hamburg State Opera, the Hamburg Ballet, and the Philharmonic State Orchestra, it will offer visitors more than captivating live performances. Designed as a multifaceted destination, the Opera House will have layered rooftop gardens open to the public, not just ticket holders. With panoramic views over the River Elbe and Hafen City. All in all, it's shaping up to be the perfect spot to go for a stroll, grab a slice of Stollen, which is fruit bread, and sip on Heilberg Kummel, which is a local liquor made from caraway seeds, which means it tastes a lot like ouzo, which tastes like licorice. Right? Caraway seeds, licorice flavored. The Opera House has been designed by Bjark Ingels Group, BJ, maybe Bjark Ingels Group, BIG. Great acronym, BIG. Which beat off multiple other architectural firms to win the contract after a competitive process. An independent jury made up of the City Hamburg, the Kuhn Foundation, or something like that. K-U with an umlaut, or what are those two dots called? That's not an umlaut. What's that called? The two dots, Kuhn Foundation, and external experts unanimously chose BIG thanks to its architectural striking plans for a welcoming space, both residents and visitors, according to the Hamburg Tourism Board. It's not clear yet when the Opera House will open its doors, but over the next few years, the design will be fine-tuned in close cooperation with the City Hamburg Foundation and the Hamburg State Opera. As the Hamburg Tourism Board said, when the Opera House is ready to welcome visitors, the city will further strengthen its reputation as a cultural metropolis. And of course, this is the same city that helped launch the Beatles into global fame. And with its latest cultural landmark, it looks more than ready to kick off a new musical chapter. Looking for the next Beatles. So in about 3 years, we can go back there. We can go back there and check out the botanical gardens, if nothing else, if we can't afford it. Sit there and watch, the latest Wagner recreation or whatever operas they sing in Germany. There's your story. Now we got a bad news story.
Okay, my association is, of course, when we went on our, I feel like it was our month-long train journey across Europe. We did stop at a couple of German cities, including Hamburg. And we had some really great hamburgers there, actually, really spicy. They were like, "Are you sure you want the highest spice?" And I'm like, "First of all, this is Germany." And it was really spicy, actually. It was really spicy, yeah. But like, come on. I know. Calm down.
I'm German.
You don't remember if it was spicy? The spicy?
I'm German.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was just talking about it. We had a hamburger in Hamburg.
Yeah.
We also found a Burger King. I made a video. Burger King in Hamburg. It's a 6-story Burger King. Yeah.
People live on top of it, yeah.
If you count the guard tower at the top, it's a 6-story building. the Burger King in Hamburg, which is, of course,
Yeah, I
Hamburg's
mean, it is
named
a very
after
classic thing in
Hamburg.
European cities to just everyone lives above the shop somewhere.
No, I think that's where the actual Burger King lives, and that's his palace.
His
And I'll live in
mansion.
I live in my little pretend world. I did
But there's
pay
my
homage to him.
associate, our second story.
This is some bad news for our next story. So there's a YouTuber I follow. His name is Otis Gibbs. He's a folk singer. He's in Amsterdam a lot. I've talked about him before. I think a few years ago he was looking for somebody to film one of his concerts in Amsterdam. And I was saying, hey, maybe you could contact this guy. You might not remember this, but it was years ago. Anyway, Otis is this guy's best friend. He's traveled with him, toured with him. I played with him, and they hang out together, right? He's got many, many interviews, and Otis is an interviewer. So I heard about this, and I said, holy crap, Todd Snider, that's Otis's best friend. Holy shit, Otis is going to have something about this. And we're going to talk about the headlines, RollingStone.com, Chris Hord. Thanks again, Rolling Papers, emailing with Todd Snider. Let's do it. In 2007, this is a story all written firsthand content by Christian Hord. In 2007, I was reporting a story about various music scenes in Nashville. I figured I should interview Todd Snider. The singer-songwriter was, after all, a resident of an evangelist for East Nashville, Music City's Bohemian Enclave. Snider had even named an album after the neighborhood, 2004's East Nashville Skyline. If you're looking for outlaw country music, by the way, this is where you find it. You're not going to find it on the radio. You're going to have to find it, Otis, and then people that he knows, right? You go see their shows. They're actually very affordable to go see these people. They'll even play in your home. That's how they are, right? It's like, we're folk singers. We'll play anywhere. You know what Jesse Wells is? Same guy. He'll play anywhere. You seen him? He just plays for free on the street all the time. Anyway, so let's get back to the story. Snider has even named an album called 2004, his neighborhood, which was called East Nashville Skyline, which is named after a Bob Dylan album, that he recorded in Nashville. I love that one, as well as the Snider album that came after it, 2006's The Devil You Know. Love Snider's sly humor, the intelligence behind his stoner drawl, his feel for working folks and down and out characters. The details in his story songs would roll around in my head like a play in a train song. Play a train song, like in Play a Train Song. I guess you got to read this right. Like in Play a Train Song, a raggedly anthemic tribute to the East Nashville legend Skip Litz. I'll read a sentence soon. The Ballad of the Kingsmen, a droll portrait of Louie Band with some socio-political commentary attached, or the Highland Street Incident, a sketch of tweaker thieves I'd learned were based on real guys who had beaten up Snider one night. Snider wasn't the focus of my story in 2007. We were just supposed to chat over a drink, but I ended up spending the entire afternoon and evening with him. We went from a bar to an impromptu recording session where Snider cut Stuck on the Corner, Prelude to a Heart Attack, about a desk jockey at the end of his rope. I had mentioned I used to play drums, and Snider encouraged me to get behind the kit for the recording. It may be hard to imagine an accomplished songwriter inviting an out-of-practice magazine writer to play on a real Nashville session, but that's the kind of open, why the hell not gesture fit with Snider's easygoing kindness. Not wanting to embarrass himself, I declined. I kind of regret it now. We ended up the night at Snider's house over a fire in his backyard. We talked a lot about music, especially the Stones and John Prine, who had been one of Snider's mentors. Snider had great Prine stories. And if you know John Prine, you appreciate that. But we partied. He gave me his AOL address and vowed to stay in touch. We emailed. He sent missives about both lengthy and gnomic in a distinct Snider style, hardly any capital letters or punctuation, with each sentence starting its own line, like a stoner E.E. Cummings or a newspaper column written by Mitch Hedberg. He tells stories and gives life updates. That's the kind of who he reminds me of. He reminds me of a Mitch Hedberg with a guitar. More than once, Snider asked for advice on a song or an album, apparently valuing my opinion more than it was probably worth. In 2014, he made an album with a band he called Hardworking Americans. I was touched to see that he'd taken my offhand suggestion to cover Randy Newman's Mr. President. Had pity on the working man. He emailed me after he finished the record. Album was a blast. Can't wait for you to hear it. We're satanic rock, I think. Not too shabby. Although our singer is a little Christopherson-ish. That's a hard word. The next email was, I think, inspired by the fact that we both met Lil Wayne on separate occasions, and the rapper had nicknamed us Conan, as in O'Brien, and Rolling Papers, respectively. Hey, Conan, I was talking to you. Thanks again, Rolling Papers. He works for Rolling Stone, right? So that's why I call him Rolling Papers. But I see Snider when he'd play in New York. My favorite parts of his shows were often rambling stories he'd tell between songs, which could be as entertaining as anything he laid down in the studio. I particularly liked the one about how he temporarily became the singer of the Memphis cover band called KK Ryder. Snider was open throughout his career and about his struggles with depression and drug abuse. I had gotten sober around the next time I met him, and we talked about recovery now and then. In one 2014 email, he noted he was down to weed again for about a month, and when I get done with this next thing I'm working on, I may try to quit even that. Later, on 2 occasions, Snider let down some folks I cared about. After that, we more or less lost touch. But I kept listening to his music. I played 2019 working on a song a lot. It's about spending forever trying to finish a tune, never getting it right. Snider tells himself he just let the song go, but figures he never will. Giving up a dream is like making one come true. It's easy to sit around and talk about it. It's harder to go out and do. And that rhymes. And working on a tune he's trying to write is called Where Will I Go Now That I'm Gone? A title he sings with lonesome resignation. The song within a song seemed to point towards something aching inside him, the perfect expression of which may have been a little beyond his reach. That's my guess anyway. I never asked him about it. Greencastle Blues from 2009 is another one that sticks with me. Inspired, so said its author, by an arrest for weed possession in Greencastle, Indiana. It is very Snider-esque mix of dark and light humor, a blunt self-assessment delivered in that slacker croon. Some of this trouble just finds me. Most of the trouble I earn. How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late to learn? Last month, Rolling Stone published a profile by Josh Crutchmer pegged to Snider's latest album, High, Lonesome, and Then Some. It's a wonderful album. It's not an easy listen, one that takes a few spins to appreciate. Snider had suffered serious setbacks from debilitating spinal stenosis to, which is I have. It's not debilitating most of the time. Sometimes it is. To the deaths of musician friends Jeff Austin and Neil Casal. I was really close to both of them, Snider told Crutchmeyer. I talked to both of them on the day they left us. I still struggle with all that most of all. Then there was a couple of breakups. We all have our day. This was, of course, in the middle of a decade in which Snider had already lost other friends and heroes, including John Prine and Jerry Jeff Walker. After I read the piece in Rolling Stone, I decided to reach out to Snider again. The AOL address still worked. I asked how he was. I told him I hoped the tour was embarking on wasn't his last. That's unfortunate. Reminding him he brought joy to folks far and wide. He got back a day later, sweet and welcoming as ever. We exchanged a few messages. The last reply from him came not long before a disturbing incident in Utah that ended with Snider getting arrested. Okay, well, if you want to go, there's a link. You want to see there's a police video of Snider being refused hospitalization in the hospital in Utah, and cops arresting him for hanging around the hospital that refused to treat him. And anyway, so let's continue with the story. In perfectly random Snider fashion, that email is mostly about fellow singer-songwriter Sierra Farrell, who is really good. By coincidence, a 2014 Rolling Stone photo story about East Nashville had captured a pre-fame Farrell, a fun fact Snider wanted to share with me. Snider had, in fact, given her a hand early in her career and mentioned that he was kind of proud of the role he played in her life. If you don't know who hold on a second, Sierra Farrell is, she's the homeless girl who's now a folk music superstar, like in minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the whole Kurt Cobain thing happening, right? Went from a busker, homeless busker, living everywhere to, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, fame, some people can handle it, some people can't. Well, hope this doesn't affect her too much. But again, multi-talented girl. And the email ended like this: trending stories. How are you doing up there? I'm getting old down here. He didn't get old enough, and I'm sad we can't email anymore. So as I was saying, he should have been treated for pneumonia in Utah. But no, the cops arrested him, let him go. He said he was beaten up, right? He said he did have a head injury. And it might have been contributing to his nonsensical talk on the police video you see. But he made it all the way back to Nashville. And the guy I follow, Otis Gibbs, said, yeah, I went over to his house and I said, Todd, you need to go to the hospital. You got walking pneumonia. And sure enough, that's exactly what he had, and that's exactly what he died from. So the cops were incompetent, basically treated him like a vagrant. He kept telling the cops, I am a singer. I have a band. I'm an actual singer with a band. They ignored him. You're a babbling idiot. What a babbling idiot. Let's arrest him. Again, what are you cops there for? Protect and serve? Or to just let people sick people, take them to another hospital, right? Here, this guy's sick. Let's see if he's really sick. Nope, the cops just arrested him. So I think if he's got family at all, they got themselves a lawsuit, because first of all, the hospital should not deny treatment to somebody. Even if, I'm just saying, if he needs treatment, he needs treatment. It's a fact that if there's a violent confrontation, right, and the cops end up shooting somebody, they have to resuscitate him and take him to the hospital, even though that guy just tried to kill some cops. That's a thing, and they can get sued for not doing that. But they're not going to get sued for this. Anyway, that's my story. Pisses me off. I mean, I'm more depressed and pissed off about the whole thing. It's like, oh, you're not rich. You don't deserve medical attention.
Yeah, and unfortunately, pneumonia, you really got to keep your head on that, because pneumonia is actually the number one killer.
Pneumonia.
Yeah, pneumonia is the number one killer. I should say unsuspected killer.
It's a number one killer of people with cancer.
Yeah. People don't take it seriously,
People
and the next thing you know, you can't breathe. And guess what? You need oxygen to live. So... There's my association.
Yeah.
I definitely take anything to do with my lungs or breathing. I have asthma. So I can't even get bronchitis. I'll die if I get bronchitis. So I avoid anything that can cause this stuff. And take it very seriously.
Once again, Utah should have laws like most states, like Maryland. If you see somebody acting erratically, you call mental health professionals and not the police. The police are not mental health professionals. They're just going to arrest it. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, they'll arrest it or shoot it. Those are the only two things they're going to do for you. And that isn't either thing that guy needed. He needed medical treatment because he had pneumonia, and he died from it. And like I said, if they shot somebody and it was a guy that just killed 14 cops, and they shot him and didn't kill him, they got to take him to the hospital and save his life. They're required to do that, even though nobody cares about that guy's life. And they can get sued for not doing it.
But
even though
not taking them to hospital with pneumonia.
He was at the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to make him sit by the sick guy and make sure he gets treated, take him to another hospital. That's all you had to do. No. This has been pissing me off for a week now, so let's get the next situation going.
Next situation.
Make the show even longer.
You're done with your story. Yeah. All right, let's go. Roll the wheel for my culture news. Rolling the wheel, rolling the wheel. It's time for you to give me a hypothetical about... What was this news story about? Oh, yes. Banning specific songs from a Netflix show at a school. So, this is a really popular show. You're not allowed to sing the music from it anymore. I give you one guess what country this is in.
U.S.?
The UK, famous for being like, you can't do that. Our civility. This is from David Borquant on Your News Culture. A school in England, specifically English people are guilty of this, is seeking to protect Christian ethos. Huh?
Christian, eh?
To be fair, they do not have separation of church and state in the UK, so by banning songs from the hit Netflix animated movie K-pop Demon Hunters. Wait, it's about demons? It's from Satan! Explaining to parents that demons are associated with spiritual forces opposed to God and goodness. Exactly, you should learn about them so you don't do those things, right? How can you know what's good or bad if you don't want to learn what the bad stuff is? Hello? Primary school in the UK has banned pupils from singing songs from hit Netflix animated film K-pop. Reason? The song features the most streamed movie in Netflix history and could make Christians feel uncomfortable. Oh no, are you uncomfortable? Do you need a blankie? And your warm milk? Lilliput Church of England School in Poole, Dorset. Freaking people from Dorset. We didn't even talk about that. Not Dorset. Not
Dorset,
even
what a bunch of pansies.
Yeah, not. Wow, it's Dorset. And I'm surprised. Sent a letter to parents last week requesting that they tell their children not to sing chart-topping songs at school. Christian ethos. Lloyd Allington, a guy from Dorset.
Christian ethos!
Head of Lilliput Church of England Infant School wrote, oh yeah, the infant song. The little babies are going, we're going up, up, like a little 2-year-old.
Yeah, we'll have none of that.
Hilarious. I want to see the singing baby. Well, we fully respect your right to make choices about the content your child engages with at home. We also want to be mindful of the diversity of beliefs within our school community, as in only Christian beliefs. Oh, you believe in Korean values. Well, you're not allowed. You're in England. You're not allowed to believe in Korean Christianity. Only English.
What part of England? What part of England was Jesus from?
By the way, famously, a lot of Koreans are Christian. I don't know the full history, but probably something to do with American, British, and other people from Christian countries coming in and saying, hey, join my cult. And then they did. And like, yeah, it's a great idea. For some Christians, references to demons can be deeply uncomfortable because they associate them with spiritual forces opposed to God and goodness. He continues, their perspective, even fictional playfulness of this language, contradict their faith, emphasizes rejecting evil rather than engaging with it, even in entertainment. They fight demons in the film. That's pretty Christian, I would say. Defeating the demons so I
don't know. It sounds like more like a cult thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the idea that K-pop Demon Hunters is bad because they're killing demons. Hello? Demon Hunters is in the name. Allington even ventured on a more positive spin to the band, writing, this is a valuable opportunity to explore the diversity of beliefs within our community. Consider how we can support faith. Find these themes challenging, particularly as we are faiths filled by many parents who are committed to nothing Christian ethos. So basically, it is arguing you need to be tolerant of our Christian values by not doing the thing that we don't want you to do. Yeah, we did it! You need to be tolerant of us telling you what to do. There's
you have to be tolerant of our intolerance.
Chiefly, that Lloyd Allington, in lieu of actually taking the time to watch the film, would do well to go beyond the second word in the film's title and move on trippingly to the third. This is the point we're trying to get to, as the animated action musical is about a fictional K-pop girl band who don't promote demons, but secretly protect the world from their hell-bound rascals. That's right. They're trying to save us. That should be applauded. If anything, their actions, the examples they set, by extension their songs, are a positive influence rather than a source for concern for Christians. Granted, the film also features a rival between the 5 demons. Oh no, the demons are sexy. That's what they do. That's what demons do, right? They tempt you. So if you think the demons in K-pop Demon Hunters are sexy and tempting you, take this time to reinstate your faith and say, I will resist the demons who are sexy and have abs. They will not defeat my faith. And there you go. It's been strengthened. You're welcome. You're welcome. Their song lyrics address temptation. Very Christian thing that people have to deal with. Still, not one of the 7 deadly sins in the good book. One argued that the pure pulses like seduction speaks. 2, in order to better fight them, you have to deal with impulse. Is you can refuse them. You know, like K-pop demon hunters do. Yeah, they have to
this guy,
fight
Lord
against the impulses of the sexy demons and go, we have to kill them, even if they're sexy. In response to Ellington's letter, one parent told BBC, I thought this was ridiculous. My daughter is very into K-pop. Her and all her little friends love it. Faced with the negative feedback from parents, Ellington updated his letter, adding, we completely agree that values like courage and kindness are important for children. It's clear from your feedback that you feel like songs like Golden have helped your children learn about these themes. However, we want to reassure you that we are not asking parents to tell their children anything wrong with enjoying a film or a song aligned with your own views and beliefs. This will not be a messaging issue at this either. Okay.
This fucking guy.
What? Okay.
Don't tell me how to raise my kids, shit with brains. Raise your own kids.
Where's
Leave
the two?
mine
Yeah,
alone.
where's the two places that children learn about society and how to act and what's good and bad? School and their house. Okay.
The home.
So if school is saying
school and the
be
internet,
listening to that K-pop demon hunters is not very Christian, they're gonna learn. Oh, it is bad that I'm enjoying this.
Hello, Lord. What's his name?
I
Lord
think
Fart
people
Fart.
who run
That was
schools
it.
need to have a children's psychologist degree. I'm tired of all these people who just learned how to teach, not understanding how children work, like how their minds work. He added, our role will simply be to help
It's
children.
not done yet.
That peers may hold different views, to explore how we can respect peers and uphold their faith.
Give a shit.
You can uphold your faith very
You need his
easily
permission
by
on a thing.
the film upholds the faith, right? It upholds your faith of don't let the demons take over, fight them through friendship and hope and love and positive things and resist temptation. Literally, that's all Christian values. K-pop Demon Hunters released in June and was a surprise hit of the summer, became the most watched movie in Netflix's history. Watched 236 million times in its first 3 months online. The song from K-pop Demon Hunters is also online, even reaching top 1 on the Billboard charts. The soundtrack broke a record, became the first ever chart for simultaneous top 10 songs of Golden, Your Idol, Soda Pop, and How It's Done. How It's Done, Done, Done. Track Golden was even performed by the Royal Air Force Band during the changing of guard in Buckingham Palace. You think Buckingham Palace was a song that was not following Christian values? They did not seem deeply uncomfortable about that. Indeed, David, they did not. So there's your story. There's culture about.
Who's this guy's name?
This story was the guy who wrote the story, David Morcran, the guy who's the leader of the school.
No, I don't care who wrote the story.
Lloyd Allington.
I thought you said Lord something.
No, Lloyd. With 2 L's.
I thought you said Lord Fart Fart or something like that. Okay.
Why does it do that? I don't.
I was gonna make
maybe
like
you're
who
right.
made
maybe
him
the
a
microphones
lord?
are broken because I'm not sure how you're hearing those words.
Lord? It sounded like Lord. I thought he was Lord something. I was like, who made him that? He thinks he's in charge of everybody's lives now because he's Lord something? But I guess he's not Lord something. Okay.
He might be a lord.
All right.
They didn't say Lord Lloyd. Maybe that's why. It's like Lord Lloyd is a lot to say.
Here's my hypothetical. I was just listening to K-pop. I didn't expect a Spanish Inquisition. There you go.
Nobody sticks to Spanish Inquisition. My hypothetical situation is I bet there's one parent who got her or his, whatever in a twist and said,
okay.
Oh my God, are they talking about demons? You better change
it's just
your
one
entire
guy.
school policy for me. Yeah, that's about being tolerant for Christians. Specifically me, the one Christian that's totally bothered by this. You must change your entire life to follow me.
Right. Again, he's Lord something. I was gonna say, he's just some guy who used to telling people what to do because some fucking title he got thrown at him. He's like, you ain't Lord over me, you shitbag.
There's my
Who knows what
culture
this
news.
guy is doing in his private life?
Only one story.
What's he up to in his private life? People like that, they're always trying to
for this day in history. So I can.
They're always trying to control other people's base behaviors because they can't control their own base behaviors.
Mixed metaphor.
That's who they are. Every time they try to regulate you, they're really confessing their own biases, and especially the people that are like, "Oh my God, is it a woman? Is it a man?" I'm like, who cares? Why does it matter to you? 1783, the first crewed hot air balloon flight was made this day in history by, let's make sure it's right, November 21st, by Jean-François Pilantre de Rosière and another person with another name, François Lauret, Marquis d'Arlens. Big long names. Traveling from someplace I can't pronounce in France, across the Bois de Boulogne, on the edge of Paris, in a balloon made by Joseph Michel and Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier. Hey, I can say things in French that I can't really pronounce anyway. 1806, Continental System, a blockade designed to close the entire European continent to British trade, was proclaimed when Napoleon issued the Berlin Decree. I am Napoleon, I rule you all. 1878, Lord Lytton, the Viceroy of India, launched the Second Anglo-African War. He launched it.
Oh wow, English lords telling people what to do again.
The Viceroy. Of course,
well,
again,
his name was Lord something.
appointed by the king. Yeah, Lord Lytton. Viceroy. You know what a Viceroy? It means some puppet that just does what the king wants.
Yeah.
In exchange for, like, basically abusing the local population. 1898, Belgian artist René Magritte, one of the most prominent surrealist painters, most bizarre flights of fancy blended horror, peril, comedy, and mystery, was born. Happy birthday to her. Him? I'm not sure. 1920, American baseball player Stan Musial is considered one of the game's greatest hitters born. Happy birthday, Stan Musial. Stan the Man, as they call him. Played his entire career for one team. You might as well just rename St. Louis Musial. Or St. Musial. 1920, on Bloody Sunday, the Irish Republican Army killed 11 Englishmen suspected of being an intelligence agent. And the Black and Tans took revenge the same afternoon, attacking spectators and players at a Gaelic football match in Croke Park, Dublin, killing 12 and wounding 60. Okay then, so they really went at it. This day, 105 years ago, Bloody Sunday, even though, well, it definitely wasn't a Friday if it was Bloody Sunday. 1922, Rebecca Ann Felton of Georgia was sworn into office, becoming the first woman seated in the U.S. Senate. Felton, who was appointed to the seat, served only 2 days. Interesting little tidbit of information. Symbolic only, and that's about it. Only symbolic. 1931, the horror classic Frankenstein, based on the stage adaptation of Mary Wollstonecraft's Shelley. I didn't know she had a middle name, Wollstonecraft. Mary Shelley's 1818 novel was released in the United States, and it helped make the hulking monster who was portrayed by Boris Karloff one of the most recognizable characters in film history. Boris Karloff. 1964, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, spanning from New York Harbor from Brooklyn to Staten Island, is open for traffic. The Verrazano Bridge, I think it's named after the river. 1995, a peace agreement known as the Dayton Accords was reached by the presidents of Bosnia, Croatia, and Serbia, ending the Bosnian War. Not one of the wars that was ended by Donald Trump, because he hasn't ended any wars. Bill Clinton ended that one. 2000, United Farm Workers called the boycott of California table grapes. Begun in 1984 by the union organizer Cesar Chavez to protest the use of dangerous pesticides. My mouth does not work today. It was part of a series of UFW strikes that had started with the Delano grape strike of 65 and 70. So the table grape strike was called off the boycott. It began in 84 and ended in 2000. It's a long boycott. 2002, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, summit meeting in Prague, ended an official invitation to become new alliance members to the following countries: Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia. There's a song in there somewhere. 2017, after some 37 years of the leader of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, stepped down as Parliament decided they were going to impeach him. 37 years of power. Stop being a power-hungry bastard. You get 8 years, go home. We don't want you anymore. You're just accumulating too much power, and you ain't that great. That's what we say every year. Yeah, that's what we do with our presidents in this country. You ain't all that. Go home. We don't like you anymore.
You're just a human being.
Shut
up.
Right. Yeah. November 21st. Yeah. 1620 on this day, the signing of the Mayflower Compact. On this day, 1620, 41 male passengers on the Mayflower prior to landing at Plymouth and saying, "Hey, we're landing in Massachusetts in November. Is there going to be food?" Signed the Mayflower Compact, by which they agreed to abide by the laws of the new government they would establish. A bunch of Puritans that nobody wanted decided, yeah, we're gonna try to get along with the Indians. Indians don't like them either, but they took pity on them. To their great detriment.
Yet again, they arrived in a country at the same latitude during post-harvest season.
Yeah, they're up there in friggin' Massachusetts. Friggin' Massachusetts is an actual place. Voltaire, French philosopher Voltaire, born this day in 1694. He lived until May 30th of 1778, age 83. Other birthdays today, we did rename.
I believe Voltaire
Marguerite.
was the levels of hell.
Right. Voltaire said, I think, therefore I am. I think.
That was
no, he didn't.
A Greek philosopher.
I'm pretty sure he's the one that said there. I could ask my phone. My phone would know. Renee Magritte's birthday, Belgian artist. We did that earlier. Bjork, Icelandic musician Bjork, is now turning 60 today. Troy Aikman turning 59, American football player and now announcer. 1969 is the birthday of Ken Griffey Jr., son of Ken Griffey Sr. Both played on the same team at the same time, and they both played for the Cincinnati Reds back in the day. But it's Ken Griffey Jr.'s birthday today. He's born in 1969. It's also Michael Strahan, football player. Again, here we go. They're discounting Michael Strahan, the TV host, talk show host. Hello. The same thing they do with Troy Aikman. Those are actual people on TV every day. Michael Strahan's on TV. Give him some cred, man. He's not just a football player. So there's your birthdays. Let's do the national days. National days today. It's National Gingerbread Cookie Day. National Gingerbread Cookie. So take a bite. National Stuffing Day. And it's National Red Mitten Day. Plus, it's Substitute Educators Day. That's right. That's because Thanksgiving, your regular teachers, she's gotten that Friday morning flight so she can beat the rush to get the hell away from you screaming monsters and go visit her weird-ass family in East Butthole, Idaho. Now,
and let's be honest, none of you are going to do your homework over the holidays. They always give us a lot of homework over Thanksgiving break.
Yeah. The guy or gal who is showing up on Friday as a substitute teacher is not going to give you homework. In fact, they're probably just going to let you play games and watch videos. So here you go. There's your stories, your complications, your stupidity, my terrible readings. It is Friday. That's no excuse. For November 21st, 2025, on before stuffing your gingerbread cookie or stuffing your gob with gingerbread
cookies. Getting stuffed like a gingerbread house. Wait a minute.
Get stuffed, everybody. I'm sorry, get properly stuffed. It is. There's your day.
That's it. That's all we got. All right, let's see if I can mix some metaphors together here, because that's what I got. So, let's get that spice-filled hug of grounding philosophy for this seed of American self-governance.
know you're mixing them.
I mixed three
Mixing
metaphors together. So
Right
that was
on.
a toughie. That was a toughie. But yes, let's look at what our UN international observances are for this today and the weekend. There are none on the weekend, but it's still, what is it again? World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week. That's right. Wash your hands, use toilets, keep your everything sanitized, you know? Don't eat raw meat that's been sitting out in the sun, you know, avoid getting bacteria and
don't lick the bottoms of somebody's feet. That's very important. Never lick the bottoms of somebody's feet.
And take your vaccines because vaccines save you from those viruses that, just like bacteria, are always changing and finding new ways to get you sick. It's also World Television Day. I wonder why. Let's click that and let me read what it says. Television continues with a single larger consumption even after the internet. Well, I guess now people watch on TV. We've got those smart TVs, right, with the apps.
Television is kind of an ambiguous term nowadays, I think.
That's true. In the 21st century, what is the purpose of a TV? It's not just a one-way channel to broadcast and cable connect anymore. Modern televisions offer a wide range of multimedia and interactive content, like playing video games, right? A lot of couch players. A lot of, like I said, the apps you can open, listening to music. And of course, you can even browse the internet on there. So despite the change in how the TV has changed, it's still quite a useful thing for live streaming and broadcast. And of course, paying attention to UN summits so you can see what all those leaders are talking about, you know? Watch some C-SPAN
until it's 3D hologram.
Parliamentary discussions. Everyone's favorite thing to do.
Until TV is 3D holograms, it'll still be boring. So.
Oh, that's my favorite. Honestly, my favorite. I mean, it's not my favorite now because the previous Speaker of Parliament was really great. It was so fun back in like the 2018 to be watching parliamentary UK parliamentary discussions, because the speaker would be like, "Order!" And
that guy.
You're out of line, Minister. And it was very dramatic. But now it's just a boring guy who doesn't help.
Yeah, that guy retired. Yeah. So okay.
But there is our UN International Observances, and celebrate the TV. And we'll see you after the weekend. This has been Allison from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. Finish another week of the year. Weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. On Monday for Mucking Fun Day. So make sure to follow me on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube and turn those notifications on so you know when we go live or post a video. Check out the Patreon if you'd like to support us in a monetary way, because we make no money off the show. And here is our mic drop moment for substitute teachers.
Yep.
They never know the name of their students. They just met them.
I'm y'all substitute teacher, Mr. Garvey.
Yep.
I taught school for 20
this has how many views?
So don't even think about messing with me.
Not enough.
Y'all feel me?
22 million.
Okay, let's take a roll here.
228 million views.
See, not enough. Needs more.
Where's Jay Quellen at?
Jay Quellen.
No Jay Quellen here?
Yeah. Do you mean Jacqueline?
Okay. So that's how it's gonna be.
Oh, right. That was the skit, right? It's a skit of him saying the names like they're black names. That's
Come on, you Jay Quellen.
Yeah, he's a substitute for the inner city. He's used to everybody.
That's how you pronounce that name.
Up names, right?
It's the flip on how white people are like, "What's your name?"
Exactly.
And they say completely wrong, and it's like, dude, you're not even trying.
Sounds totally racist when a black guy does it, doesn't it? Right?
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Also, why are you wearing safety goggles?
You want to go to war, Balaki?
No. It's a biology lab.
I'm for real.
But I'm just saying they're taking attendance. You don't need your. They're not doing any experiments.
D nice.
He's got pink eye. He's got pink eye. He doesn't want it to spread.
If one of y'all says some silly ass name, this whole class is
some wide ass cracker name.
Now D nice.
D nice.
Denise.
Son of a bitch.
D nice.
You say your
name
right.
A teacher should be swearing.
Right now.
Denise.
Say it right.
Denise.
Correctly.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
Right.
You nice?
That's better. Thank you. Now, Aaron. Where are
I
you?
love that one. That's
Where
a
is
classic.
Aaron right now?
Oh, another guy wearing goggles and bottles.
No Aaron, huh?
It
Well, you
is
better
the guy
be
that wears
sick,
boggles.
dead,
they got,
or mute.
It's a lad. Don't you see the lad?
Aaron. Here. Oh, man.
Bunsen burners.
Why didn't you answer me the first time I said it, huh? I'm just asking. I said it like 4 times. So why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
Son of a bitch! You done messed up, Aaron. Now take your ass on down to Oshag Hennessy's office right now and tell him exactly what you did.
Hennessy.
Oshag Hennessy.
Oshag Hennessy!
You know Oshag.
Principal O'Shaughnessy?
Get out of my goddamn classroom before I break my
That
foot
does
up in
sound
your
like a
ass.
white ass name.
Insubordinate.
My name's O'Shaughnessy. All right,
And
shut the hell
churlish.
up.
Girlish. He knows big words, but he sure can.
Timothy.
Present.
Thank you.
That's his name.
Finally, someone with a normal ass name. Of course, the history of why, black people have weird names.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels. Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.